theme from the bottom. Oh. This bass line. Like it's playing bass doubles.
I feed from the bottom, you feed from the top. I live upon morsels you happen to drop. Coffee that somehow leaks out of your cup. If nothing comes down, then I'm forced to swim up.
I love the contrast between the piano and the bass here. Like, and you have the heartbeat being carried with the drums here, with this hi-hat and kind of the snare rim. But I feed from the bottom and you feed from the top. Like, I live upon morsels you happen to drop, and coffee that somehow leaks out of your cup. If nothing comes down, then I'm forced to swim up. It's like being the mistreated one in a relationship.
I feed from the bottom, you feed from the top. I live upon morsels you happen to drop. Coffee that somehow leaks out of your cup. If nothing comes down, then I'm forced to swim up. On the way upwards, the colors come back. But all on the bottom is blue, gray, and black.
The sound here is so cheerfully melancholic that I find myself being particularly moved, because there is this tension that is brought about between the bass and the piano, but it sounds happy, but kind of like a smirk more than a smile happy. You know, maybe not a smirk, but maybe like a feigned smile. You know what I mean? Kind of like, I don't know, but this is the sound of what it is like when you act like you're okay and you're really not.
Darkness is cold and perception goes wrong, and the night seems to go on incredibly long. So I ask you why I'm swimming by. Don't you see anything that you'd like to try?
I loved every bit of that. And don't you see anything you'd like to try?
Perception goes wrong, and the night seems to go on.
There's the laugh.
Long. So I ask you why I'm swimming by.
I love that. So I ask.
Don't you see anything that you'd like to try?
That bass transitioning too. Do-do-do.
Pantomime mixtures of heaven and earth, jumbled events that have less than no worth. Time in the forest to dig under rocks, or float in the ocean, asleep in a box.
Man, so I ask you why, if I'm swimming by, don't you see anything you'd like to try? So it kind of, again, I saw in the chat people were commenting on the idea that this was about like a fish, but like with get like a fish, not like fish, but. And while it could be, and you know, it's hilariously enough something I'm just making connections to because, you know, I'm a vain person that reads lyrics and makes it everything about us, or everything is about me. Just again, I think I can at least relate to feeling like I'm kind of swimming through life and just not really paying attention or paying attention to the things I'm passing. And I definitely feel like that was the case in my past. Pantomime mixtures of heaven and earth. I love that imagery too. Jumbled events that have less than no worth. Like, yeah, swimming by in life. Like time in the forest to dig under rocks. Like you go to the forest and you're digging for, oh man, or float in the ocean asleep in a box. Or sink just below the churning and froth and swim to the light. So, gah.
Or sink just below all the churning and froth. Swim to the light source or fly like a moth.
The wah guitar there in the background too, but I think the beauty of abstract lyricism is it inspires you to try to draw meaning, and when you connect it to how you feel about yourself or in your life, I think that's the beautiful part about art. I think again that's when I've looked into Bob Dylan's work, that's the thing that shouts out to me the most is like it could be from any kind of perspective you can relate. So. Yeah, I love this.
Swim to the light source or fly like a
the wah guitar there.
So toss away stuff you don't need in the end, but keep what's important and know who's your friend.
What a line! So toss away stuff you don't need in the end, but keep what's important and know who's your friend. That is the phase of life I am in right now. Those two lines are where I am at. And again, I think that is why maybe so much of what Phish has maybe listening to Phish has brought to my life has been so relevant to me in this place of my life, right? Like I have been in a pretty massive change of life over the last 4 years, from like a divorce to moving across the country to switching careers because I was miserable working in finance. Now I work at home and it's just me and I'm all alone. And I started this hobby listening to songs and albums because I enjoy listening to albums, and I found people that were like-minded and like discovering music and wanted to listen to albums. And so much of me ridding the baggage of my past is like moving forward, kind of learning how to forgive myself for the way I was, learning how to try to become a different person, kind of reassigning my default mode network to not every time something bad happens, I want to go get, lit up. And that is a difficult part of life to navigate. Like, I'm not going to lie. It comes with a lot of hardship and loneliness and like I liked myself better when I was a drunk stoner, whatever the case may be. But and again, I don't have the same relationships with people I used to in my life, and that's sad to me. But at the same time, when I look at this, and so toss away the stuff you don't need in the end, but keep what's important and know who's your friend. Like in this phase of my life, I've had tremendously to lean on my family and the people that care about me. I've had to confront myself, which was made much easier because people that know me saw my struggles and wanted to help. And at the end of the day, I was the thing that was getting in my way. And so much of that was because I was carrying baggage and of the way I was, and those two lines, man, they're just, those two lines to me. I mean, dude. And the same goes for you. Toss the stuff you don't need away. This is huge. This is so good. Sorry to be so verbose there.
But keep what's important and know who's your friend. So I ask you why.
Wow.
Don't
such a good song, dude. Oh. The palm muting in the back, transitioning into the lead. The conversation between Paige and Trey here. There was a note there. I'm pausing it. I'm just going to go back to the beginning of that instrumental, but that. The tone is so big and then it transitions so delicately into being soft but squealy. Such an uplifting instrumental after that. It's like the clarity of epiphany. I can't get past how much I love the keys in this album. The way they punch into the mix have been amazing. Getting a little mustard on this.
From the bottom, 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 the bottom,
And they all came in one by one. Oh man. I want to hear that again. Because you go from this big, huge guitar tone, right? Like this massively mega sound. And again, this has been such a step in a different direction for Trey's guitar sound coming from the albums, right? So again, even in a live one, his tone didn't sound like it had this many balls, right? Like this much balls, whatever you want to say. However, whatever the grammatically correct way to say something has much ball to it, like whatever that is, the guitar tone has completely changed in a different way. It still sounds like Trey, but like if you filled in Trey's tone with a little bit of presence. And yeah, hearing that still be distinctly Trey, but like with the beefier voice, and then you hear the further dynamics that this album has presented with his guitar tone, because he didn't have nearly the same from the bottom. He didn't have nearly the same heavy standard there, but then you get to this, like going from that mega huge sound just down to from the bottom. It's so cool. And then you've got all four of them doing something different. And then one by one, the instruments come in. There's the guitar. it's just such a cool way to end that song. It's so nice. Thank you so much for Follow with Love. This song has been gnarly, dude. And then this big chaos. Bonk. This was honestly, realistically, guys, that might have been to me song of the album. But then Waste and Taste as well. This one is very much lyrically spoken to me. And while the instrumentation has been good and there's been good tension and release moments, they're not nearly the same kinds of tension and release moments. It's each song has definitely been different, but this has just added elements to them that I haven't seen done before. But I think that the thing with Theme about connecting so deeply to that one particular lyric, this part right here, but keep, so toss away the stuff you don't need in the end. Like, theme of the album. I mean, point blank. Just because before this, you're kind of talking about things that like are the things that you should be leaving behind, and it's almost like there's the tension and then theme in that ending that I said kind of sounded a little bit like the music of an epiphany. That ending is kind of like the release there. So yeah, I don't know. Well, next song is Train Song. So here we go.